Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Cahul in Moldova. Now this district, I just blinked, I'm sorry. This district is kind of unusually shaped. It also has this area here. This is part of Cahul. So technically this district borders Romania and it borders Ukraine over here. That is because this area that it's around is part of Caucasia, which briefly declared independence during the fall of the USSR, but eventually became part of Moldova. So the parts that stayed Moldova are like cookie cuttered throughout Caucasia. But yeah, so those are the borders of Cahul today. Area is pretty much just mostly little farmland, like most of Moldova. Bordering the area here with Romania is the Prut River. Then down here is the Danube, flowing out into the Black Sea nearby. And that's pretty much it for geography, to be honest. It's a tiny region in a tiny country, so normally in places like that that are so small, you'd say, well, not a lot has happened in this area, but there's been some significant things that have happened in this area. So let's talk about it. This area, actually, like the earliest fact that I found was in the 300s CE, but prior to that, of course, there were traditional civilizations here and things. Eventually became part of the Roman Empire, but the first fact that I found was the invasion of the Huns in 376. But eventually this area became part of Moldavia, specifically Bessarabia, which would eventually become Moldova, right? But the historic event that happened here was during the Russo-Turkish War in 1770. They fought the Battle of Cahul, and it was devastating for the Ottomans. It pretty much turned the tide of the war toward the Russians. A very huge loss for the Ottoman army during that battle. In 1812, this district became part of Russia. In 1856, though, after the Crimean War, it wound up part of Romania. But I guess, in a sense, Russia would get it back in a sense in the form of the USSR in 1940. Due to the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, the USSR claimed a lot of Eastern Europe. Nazi Germany claimed a lot of Western Europe. And once war broke out, they claimed those areas that they agreed to in the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. And so this became part of the USSR until the collapse of the USSR and Moldova gained independence in 1991. It's part of Moldova. Today, Cahul is a spa town, which is pretty great. I could use a trip to a spa town. That sounds so nice. But, yeah, it's just kind of quiet. Little Moldova. Not much has really happened in Moldova in recent history, so just nice, quiet little farmland along the rivers here. So I think we should head over to Google Earth and see what we can find here in Cahul in Moldova. Let's go check it out. Here we are in Cahul district, and I hope I'm saying that right, by the way. But let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here is Moldova, wedged between Romania and Ukraine. We're here in Eastern Europe. You can see the Black Sea right there. The rest of Europe over here. And the Balkans down here. If we look at this little exclave here, you can see it's just farmland. Just little remnants of when Geographica existed as its own thing. But yeah, let's hop over here. We'll look at that in a second. I just want to show you, here's the Danube River. Having this little tiny border here along the river. It's a little port for Moldova on the Danube. But we have this beautiful lake up here, Lake Beleu, I believe. There's all kinds of nice little slideshows around the lake. Very pretty, big wide open sky there. Beautiful little lily pads, that nice. Big rolling hills, big trees, lots of birds, of course, in places like this. Lots of hiking trails. It's all very pretty. Lots of birds flying. Oh, and they did some painting. That's really nice. There's a bird watching tower right here. Do you think we'll see some birds? Oh yeah, we got some birds. Maybe storks or some kind. That's not a bird, that's a horse. Let's see if we can see. Oh yeah, these are geese for sure. That's another horse. That's another horse. Those aren't birds. They're taking the little horse-drawn cart out to the bird-watching tower. Whole groups there. Those are more geese, right? No, those are swans. That's a swan. That's a goose. Lots of birds. All right, we got to see some birds here in the bird-watching tower. Let's see if we can see anything at the Lower Prut Natural Reservation. Very beautiful. And not many areas of Moldova do you get some nice slideshows like this. It's very nice. There's a big turtle. Oh, a lovely swing. You can enjoy the view out there. There's the river. The little town. Oh, look at that cool tower. You gotta take a boat to that tower. There's that horse again. That's not a bird. Let's head over to the town. There we are. So, let's see. There's the sanatorium. As they'd say back in the old days, this is like the hot spring hotel. I think this one was the best slideshow. It's mostly for the hotel. I'm not quite sure what's happening here. A bunch of rocks. Maybe they're hot rocks. I don't know, but that's really weird. But there's some spring water there. It's the spa. Nice, cool pool. The little slide into it. That's always the best. So yeah, that's the big spa area. There's a lot happening there. But as you can see, it's mostly just a little farmland. Nice and quiet. Let me get the borders back up. There we go. Since these borders are very jagged and different, we don't want to wind up in Caucasia today. Not today. Let's see. There's the hugging tree. Okay. There it is. Let's see what else we can find. There's a memorial there. Some hiking trails. That one doesn't have a slideshow. I know, I checked that. What's that? No pictures. Maybe some of these hiking areas have photos, maybe? Trying. Nope. We got something. We got a pretty lake. Yeah. So, like I said, this is, what's this? This is a, oh my goodness, that's terrifying. It's a small region in a small country, so there's not a lot to find here. But, looks like we found a little campground. Cafeteria, little cabins. Yeah, there's all the kids lined up for camp. Do you guys ever go to a camp like this? In 6th grade, we went to, it was called Outdoor Ed, where we went to a camp like this for a week up in the hills. It was really neat. Those are some good memories. You know, it was weird. My camp counselor that week, gosh, it would have been 6 years later, when I started doing teacher training, I got assigned to a classroom, and the teacher in that classroom was my camp counselor from Outdoor Ed. Isn't that crazy? Anyway. That might be it for tonight. There's not much else to show you. Let's just look at like the Cahul slideshow. Let's see what we can find. That's going to be it for tonight, I believe. Of course, though, I always invite you to poke around this area on Google Earth and see if you can find any cool slideshows. Let me know. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this style of content, please consider subscribing. And you're definitely going to want to subscribe now if you haven't already, because next we're going to Cairo. And there's going to be lots of great photos to show you on Google Earth. It's Cairo, right? We're going to the museum. We're going to the Citadel. A World War II memorial. Ooh, big factory. You're not going to want to miss the Cairo video. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. Please don't forget to give this video let me unstick myself. Give it a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good